Curveball. It's Thursday, and we're gonna curveball again next week because we're gonna start doing these on Wednesdays this summer. So yeah, Friday's a little sometimes always hit or miss. So with people being gone, me being gone mainly, right? So I didn't get to introduce these last week, but we have these fantastic new platters. I'm super excited about them. And yeah, so yeah, come on in, come on in. Where's everybody at today? Is this a new time for you on here, or have you been on here before? Give us some news. Tell us. You know, I don't always know. Probably if you send a comment, I think we see it. But I think if you are like have a private account, I don't always see that you pop up your name. So yeah, you're incognito. But yeah, hi Susan. And yeah. So coming on in. So it was an amazing weekend last week in Detroit at Tucker's. Had a huge crowd. They gave away tons of stuff. Had a few sales. So overall, it looked. They did really nice. There's lots of stuff on Instagram if you see. But yeah, so. It was, yeah, good being there. Their 50th anniversary. Pittsburgh in the house. All right. Good old Pittsburgh. Yeah. Love Pittsburgh. I gotta go come see a game, Pirates game. So I almost have come a couple times, and I haven't been in that stadium yet. So, oh, welcome. Good to come. So yeah, good to have you. So. We just kind of get going here today. We don't have too many, there's not any conferences really this summer to talk about, any news to talk about. So I am going to be traveling around to a few distributors and making a few visits throughout the summer. But nothing as of now formal or yeah, on the schedule. So yes. Let me know if you're coming. All right, for sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, so Pittsburgh, yeah. Toronto was good. Let's see. Hi, Shelly. Rainy here. We had rainy yesterday, and yeah, the gardens do need it. Pittsburgh too. All right. Cape May, New Jersey. That sounds fun. Sounds like a nice place to be in the summer. You're near your standard, okay. Yeah, you gotta bug them over there to get some GR pottery forms in. Say, when are your forms coming in? Because they redid the space there, and then they haven't reordered yet. So I think they're due for an order. So give them a hard time. They need a little poking. So poke them for me, will you? Yeah. Hello, Diana. Georgia? Yeah, sometimes. I've been to Davins a couple times and haven't been there in a while, so yeah, poke them for me. Maybe I'll have to come visit them for sure. What about August in Waukesha, Tennessee? Yes, I'm gonna be there. I hope to be there in August. It's I haven't. I know. I think Michael, who runs it, is a little behind on getting things set up, and I don't think that you can sign up for it yet, right? I don't believe it's open yet, but probably really soon. This is usually the time, getting to be last minute here. So I'm assuming this week or next week that'll be going strong. But so once that goes strong, then I can talk more about that. But I guess that is true. That is a workshop that you could attend in August. So Penny Paul, hi Penny. Hope all is well in North Carolina. It's hot in summer. But all right, let's get started here. These are I've been wanting to have more bigger RD2 sizes for a while, so trying to incorporate those into the mix. And yeah, so just generally here, Delaney and Jenny made a couple samples here. This one turned out really fun with a kind of a blue basket weave, and then we got a underglaze transfer one here on the oval. So yeah, those need to be the underglaze transfer one needs to be fired again. This one probably could stay as it is. It got fired to cone 04, so definitely the glazes are stable. It will be good, but we'll see if we'll glaze that again. But usual call to action here is that we first start out with a slab, and a slab that's big enough to house the form. And these forms are 8 inches by 8 by 16, 8 by 16. And so I think it's a really nice platter size that encompasses the whole piece. So we have some other sizes similar to that size already in the OGs, but it's a little different because of the side angle. So we have an 8 by 15, but these RD2 ones are, the edge is encompassed onto the side of the form. So you can see how it's got this kind of gradual edge where the OGs kind of cut off on a 45-degree angle. These are really difficult to stack with other shapes. So yeah. So it's but it's really nice on its own. Oh yeah. Do you even ship for free? We just pass on the cost, and you know, you can buy the imported ones from China or wherever in the world on Amazon and get free shipping, but you know, there's always a trade-off. Somehow they're covering that cost, whether it's the quality, the whatever. But so yeah, choices. I just try to give you the fairest price and just pass on the shipping costs. We have options when it comes shipping, but I think in Canada you can't even get stuff at the moment. So because of the strike. Somebody's asking about the edgy. Oh, good. Mm-hmm. So, edgy. For sure I have a preference. Here it is. If you haven't oh, there you go. Yeah, you can pick up at your local distributor for free shipping, right? Or at Fire Dart Expo. You got it, Stacy. Smart. Yeah, there's some people have talked about, and I don't even notice it, but you can definitely see it. And if you're a machine person and really particular on things, there is this little tiny little ridge in the middle there that really shouldn't affect anything if you're going back and forth. Maybe if you stop or start, but if you're going all the way across, it should be good. But I'm a believer in the yellow, and maybe even now that these are a little bit thicker, red. But what I like about the yellow, besides the actual flexibility of it, the actual flex, which I'm not sure how you would label that or call that, but the other thing, that this material flexes just enough so that it doesn't, it's not abrasive, and so it doesn't wear out near as quickly as the other. I would imagine some of the other colors might wear differently as well. So for durability purposes and use, my preference is yellow. But yeah, you have to give it a try. I know Mud Tools wanted them to do all 4 sizes because of just because they do all 4 sizes with the other ones. They want to give you options. So, but yeah, I would, for hand building, for what I'm doing, yellow is my go-to. I'm still, it's a little bit different because of that width, but I've heard quite a few people really like them. So yeah, flexi edgy, yeah, yeah. Stacy, you you can't sign up for Fire Art Expo yet, right? Mike's still working on that. Have you heard? You're in the know usually. I know Michael was it's been a little bit, but he was just over in England for doing a workshop, so with Mako, so yeah, he's probably a little behind this year, but that's alright. He catches up fast. Not yet, yeah, Lisa knows too, yeah, not yet. You might have said that already before, I missed it. But it'll be soon. I keep trying to. Alright, so now I'm just going to flip this right over. I should have used another board, but I'm being lazy today. Not going to get another one. There were only two right here, so I have to go track one down. But basically I'm going to flip it over on top of the form. Again, some people saw my demo and saw this was a new thing. What I want to do is bring this clay kind of towards the form, and just that little motion, it moves that clay 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch towards the form, so it maintains that evenness, thickness of the slab. One thing I noticed too, it's always good to use other stuff. It kind of reminds me of like, oh yeah, maybe that's a big deal. Maybe it's a big difference. And what that was is this weekend at Tucker's, they have a different type of material. It's really close to kind of between plastic and rubber, and feels like a really nice material, but the clay kind of sticks to it, and it's thin, so it absorbs moisture pretty quickly. So I wonder, that just made me think, for some of you out there, that maybe if you're not using canvas to roll out your slab, does that affect warping, cracking, releasing from the slab, releasing from the form, all these different things. So I was just reading Stacy's. I laugh because that's probably me. I've been trying to get a hold of Michael, but he hasn't responded back yet. So I got to get a hold of him and get my instructor, crack the whip, Michael, on us all as instructors. So yeah. So anyway, so I think about that. If you're having difficulty with your slab sticking, warping, cracking, make sure you're using a nice thick canvas to do that. I think it creates less tension on the slab when I'm releasing it from the canvas than it would from another material where it's going to kind of catch and stick and could cause some stress that might show up later on in the process. So yes, so as makers, as potters, constantly finding new information, right? And yeah, there's always something that I might all do. I constantly am thinking about, like, what do I do just kind of naturally that I don't think about that actual process, but then it happens. So yeah.
Lisa says she saw someone using bed sheets to roll out slabs.
Oh yeah, that might work out really nice too, because you can just peel the bed sheet once you flip the slab too, that's another thing too, as opposed to like kind of removing it from the material. Whereas if you just remove the material from the slab, can also be a different way too. But I think Katie Miller likes bed sheets, and I think those can be really effective for adding moisture back into it, where you just, or like slow drying. Yeah, so bed sheets are really an interesting material as well. But it's got that fiber, that fabric that will release really well. It doesn't really kind of stick to it. So somebody asked how thick do I like to roll out the slabs. I like to roll them about 1/4 of an inch or less, so as thin as possible. You can kind of see this one is a little on the thin side. I just switched my it's so interesting how things can change. I switched slab rollers. This is the first time I'm using this new slab roller with somebody. I wanted a smaller one because of my space, and somebody else wanted a bigger one. So it worked out for both of us over at Western. So university close to here, where they hosted Michigan Mud this year. So I saw her slab roll and I said, "Oh, hey, you want to switch?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do, Jessica." So yesterday I went over and picked it up. I think it was yesterday. So yeah, here we go. I'm still with these RD2s. I'm still not that sold on the foot. Typically I have a little narrower foot that I've been putting on here, and this is a little different. So I'm going to go back to the standard foot maker here. And it's, if you're new, this is the corn skewer modified to be a foot maker. We have them available for purchase, or you can pull one out of your drawer and try to mangle it into place. But it's harder than it looks, so let us know if you need one. But yeah, and I think it's really critical to have a foot on your piece. Just elevates it to a different level, different height. Oh yeah, there you go. That, Diana, that is the material like that I used at Tucker's that I had difficulty with. It was like a vinyl. That's probably even better. And and it's like one side's kind of fabricy and the other side's really smooth. That's what it was, I bet. And I had difficulty with it because it would stick to it. Just a little more plastic in there. But you know, if you get it to work, good for you. But it made me notice and think about some of the differences that can happen out there that don't even know, like when people ask. I think they're like $5, $4.95 is what we charge for foot makers. Highway robbery, but you know, we all got to eat around here, so it's not that much of a cost. I like to use, on these particular forms, I like to use my Dirty Girls slingshot. And if some of you have a problem with the name Dirty Girls, they are good fun over there at Kentucky Mud Works. They're just trying to have fun with that name, so don't take offense to it. They're just playing in the mud like the rest of us. A little bit of Kentucky attitude. My good buddy Link, who's in charge over there. I gotta get a hold of her. I haven't talked to her in a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, check them out. They're online. I think. Oh yeah, maybe. Jenny's putting in the You can put that footmaker link in there on Instagram. That would be helpful. I don't know how Instagram is good. I don't know if you can do that on Instagram, right?
They can copy and paste it.
They make it difficult. Websites, right? So you can see I'm kind of fighting a little bit with this angle. Oh, there's the footmaker. That's funny. Oh, that's in here. But sometimes, but that's what's nice about this tool is you can cut and cut and cut. Cut some more, just to cut. So it feels so nice. Don't tell anybody I'm using a sponge here too. I wondered the other day I saw, oh, I made a sample for somebody. I did a sample. I made one of these at Tucker's, and I remember it having a couple notches on the side. I'm like, when I gave it to somebody, I was like, how come that has notches on the side? Where did those come from? And then I realized, they came from the Sue tool. So, here's another fun little tool that I like. And I think this is really critical, like, for these large platters especially, is that you really want to have the foot on the very edge where this ridge is, right here. Because if you go outside of that too much, or inside of that too much, it creates more weight and more unevenness of clay, and then that will droop because of the pressure of that, will droop in the firing. So, I set my little Sue tool here to just over 2 inches. And so now what I can do is I can just come through here and I can mark where the edge of that foot is going to be. It's just easier to not do the corners, but it gives me a kind of a reference of where to put the foot. So now, this clay is really wet. So, if you're, I should say this, if your pottery teacher gives you a hard time about not scoring or slipping, tell him Jeff told you to. And you can if you want. I have found that it put this on here. I have found that it just adds moisture, and it doesn't really help if as far in this particular case. It's going to matter if there's some resistance of the something that's different, like case of a mug, you're putting a handle on there. That handle is going to cause resistance. So then, yeah, I would add a little slipping, add some slip or some scoring. And I actually never use slip, I just use moisture. Oh yeah, I like this. Maybe it's just different why it's bothering me about the narrower foot, but oh good. All right, Susan, maybe I can give it to you here. Susan mentioned the Sue tool is kind of tough to deal with. Number one thing that I see that people don't do is use this dial here. On the top, there's this little dial, and you want to loosen that. It's a locking mechanism. All right? And so then they're on the side here. These are these two tools. They're made for schools for students. So they have this little point on here, and on the side of it here has a. See if I can get it to close. And sometimes see if you can't get it to close. Oops, that one barely went in. Maybe there's some clay in that spring, or maybe your dowel's hitting the side of that of this piece here. So sometimes I just move the dowel out a little bit or in a little bit. But really, you know, you can just leave this out. You don't need it to come back in once, if you're especially if you're using pin tools. And then there's this little gauge here. So then, and this may not be what your information you need, but I'm just giving you the full tutorial of the SU tool. And then you can lock it in, this dial, lock it in place to the depth that you need. And then think about this. This is probably the part too, which takes a little bit of practice. Is kind of this holding this kind of flat, and then this thinking about where that dowel is going to go, and then let the as opposed to thinking about the knife side, the point side, and yeah. So maybe that will be helpful, and also the other thing that really kind of helps a lot of times too is thinking about the angle of when you're dragging it. If it's pretty vertical or not vertical, it can catch. So make sure it glides nice by kind of having like a slight angle on the side of it. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. Oh yeah, how far to put the wooden pencil. So really I have it so that the edge of the pencil and the edge of the pin should be pretty much the same distance. But yeah, I would mess with it.
Someone also asked how long you let the clay dry before you trim it.
This I'm trimming this edge right now. This is a different scenario than typically. Typically I just cut the edge and then wait to mess with it until it's leather hard. So that's a great clarifying question. In this case, I do it immediately when it's wet. A lot of times too, I'll be making, you know, if I was gonna make these platters, especially production wise, I would want to make 6 or 8 of them. And so by the time that time in between making each one kind of gives you a little bit of freedom for making stuff. So I also cut these foot strips typically if I'm doing production, and then let them set up a little bit. They'll stay straighter. Otherwise, it takes a really soft touch to kind of make sure that that's all lining up right. So now I can just kind of blend this in. Just think about the thickness, and soft, kind of easy, calm pressure is key. So yeah, that's gonna be pencil too much. All right, yeah, give it a go. So now I like this modeling tool, and they're really nice for like kind of smoothing, pressing clay. I see some canvas marks too here, so it was the side that I wasn't close to. So I was had this conversation with somebody last weekend. I really like canvas marks on there because that way I can see if I've messed with the edge or not. If I've really given it attention. So make sure you're giving attention to it. That's pretty much it for how I want to mess with it for now. I'll come back and touch it up. We could add some texture inside maybe. Just a little something for the, I don't know if you ever noticed a lot of times the glaze on the bottom is so different than what's on the top, so yeah. So if we wanted to make some fun designs here, let's go. It's a little taller than that. You could also use your soup tool to make decorating lines as well. There we go. So, all kinds of fun. Yeah, go a little closer. I always think it's interesting on how different the line can look, how depending on what kind of blade you're using even too. In this case it's just a really thin line cut with like a point. So there, look at that. I don't know if you can kind of see that very easily. The camera's not going to quite show it. You can kind of see it over here. But see that Instagram there? But it's real. Those real subtle lines are really nice when you have certain glazes. They really kind of pop out. So depending on if you're using a Celadon glaze or kind of a clear transparent glaze. So yeah. All right. Let's make an oval one real quick here. Hi Tanya, how are you? Hope you're having a good summer over there. So two different directions with the compression. And I think this is something you don't really want to cheat. It's really important, I think, to have to compress the clay, kind of send the clay particles in a consistent direction so that they all line up. And again, talking about the flex, I'm a huge believer in the yellow flex for this particular purpose. I'm just going to drag it across and kind of smooth it out so it's nice and smooth. The oval ones I think are a little more finicky because there's less clay right here. There's uneven, so it can dry unevenly just because of its shape. So make sure that you're kind of watching it close. Otherwise, there's a good chance that it could warp quicker on you just because of the shape. So often, so many of the questions are about warping, and so yeah, there's so many factors. So it's really just a matter of checking it out as well. Well, good question. These RD2s are 8 inches by 16. This one is an oval shape, and the one I just did was a rectangle that has kind of rounded corners. And it needs those rounded corners so it doesn't create a sort of smooth transition. So I use the other side of the board, so now I'm going to use this side so that it's dry. You know, RD2s I think are really amazing for decorating. So these are really good platter sizes to decorate and kind of paint, and maybe nice wall hangings, really, right? If you're a painter and not necessarily a clay maker, this is a great style for you, the RD2s. So now I kind of medium pressure, press it all in place, and then come back again with a rib. Just making sure that I'm pressing throughout the whole slab. There we go. I'm going to do the other side here because I got you make a foot, so I'll even compress this clay out here where I'm going to make a foot. It's going to cut pretty close here, but you really could just cut. You don't have to cut so close, but it's really nice. I'm cutting close on these now just functionally because I want to know where to put the foot. But you can figure out a different way. Kind of go in that groove and put the compass in. So. How long did that slab sit before you compressed it? I never know how long to let my clay set before I do anything. I want to make some small pieces for myself. Thank you for the video. Yeah, you know, I like it fresh out of the bag. And I don't make slabs too far ahead of time. You know, so it's amazing how quickly they change. And I want, unless the clay is really, really wet, like sticky wet, then I might let it set up for a second, a little bit, but not even usually. So I do it immediately, and so then I let the clay sit on the form until probably for four hours minimum, maybe 6 or 8. So, and then it allows it to kind of get its place. I really, as you know, I'm a real fan of this slingshot, but this is like the nicest one you can buy, so they're a little bit premium in cost. But they make it all from hand, my nice brass parts. But I really like this. What I really like is this handle that I can hold it this way. There's so many other different, like I sometimes will just use this harp, but this is really uncomfortable to hold for me. So it's inexpensive and it will do the job. Or this one actually is pretty good too because it's got a paddle, but it's and I should use it because you see how I had to make a couple cuts. So this is the one from Mud Tools. I should start using that one a little bit more. Yeah, choices, fun tools, but I think it works way better than using like a pin tool or a knife on that edge. I'm just going to go over it with a sponge here just to kind of smooth off the edge. I try to avoid sponges, as I say, because it's sometimes removes all that nice smooth material and leaves you with the real gritty material. So that can be kind of problematic. Yeah, maybe even more than 4 to 6 hours. Just depends on how fast it'll dry and where you are. Yeah, like if you're in Phoenix or where it's really dry, it could be quite a bit less, maybe an hour tops. But where Florida or the other parts in the south may be a little more humid, so then you don't. Then you might need a little more time. So you're basically waiting. You're basically waiting until I can pick this up with one finger and nothing else flexes or moves. The whole piece kind of just lifts right off. Oh, you're outside of Toronto. Yeah. Yeah, so you're same climate as us here in Michigan. I'm in Michigan, so yeah. So yeah. Sometimes when it's really humid, it might even might even leave it overnight. So, but I definitely would leave until it's just a nice leather hard stage. Notice this one's kind of pointed, so I think I'm gonna see how we join the edges here. Ooh. Kind of cut down through the slab there a little bit. Add a little more clay in there. This clay is nice and soft, nice workable time, so yeah. Salud. Never get this right, but let's go for it. I'm trying to cut it on a little bit of a angle right from the start. That's pretty good. That's the nice thing about clay is we're just gonna kind of blend this in to make it look like we're pro. And key is that soft kind of smooth pressure, right? It's like you do it kind of unconfidently and quickly you're gonna end up with stuff you don't like. So just be gentle. I think we can help in lots of ways in life, right? Yeah.
Instagram are asking if you leave it uncovered to dry or plastic, or with plastic or cloth.
Good question. I leave it uncovered as long as possible. I think it just helps it to kind of naturally do its thing. So it gives it a little bit of time to kind of adjust, and I think really, you know, I get this a lot of questions about like using weights or other things to kind of help, but we're really kind of, I want to just keep moving this clay around so the gravity of its own weight will put it in place. If you have to use other things, then it may not be able to handle other kinds of stress down the road as well, but I don't know. So some people do that and that are really successful at it, so you gotta do what works for you, but for me, just let it kind of keep an eye on it as it's drying. Check it depending on how fast it goes. Like if it's going to take 8 hours, you probably only need to check it every couple hours. Maybe turn it. If it's drying faster than that, then you want to do it that as well. So, oh, hello, Lori, neighbor. I know, right? I get to make stuff.
We also have a question about the type of clay you're using and why you didn't slip and score the foot.
Yeah, all right, good, yes. I'm using, this is standard 182G, and what I'm really tempted to do a clay study. There's so many options out there right now, and sometimes you get warping. And the honest truth is, I went to a firing recently, and I saw the dramatic differences. It was in a wood kiln, so the pressure was much greater. So it really mattered what that how it's those types of things, right? And so the clay particles and how it could withstand that heat, the pressure during that heat. So but I have found, I know the one I have the most success with is the speckled buff, and I think pretty sure it has fire clay in it. So and I'm not a big clay person. I don't have a big knowledge base for clay, but if anybody does any listen to podcasts or whatever, the Ceramics Materials Network, Ceramic Materials Workshop, Matt and Rose, they have some amazing knowledge, and that's their job is to do testing on materials and stuff, so clay materials. So I don't know if they have any information about different, because they have tested so many clays and different options for clays, mainly glaze. I think mainly glaze and clay. I gotta look it up. I shouldn't be talking. I'm just guessing.
Jenny put the link in there.
Oh good, yeah. Oh good, yeah. Check them out and ask them if they know anything about warping rates for clay slabs, specifically slabs. Hand building with slabs. Do they have any information? And I would bet they do. But I think that would be a good resource to check out, because it does make a big difference. And but it also matters is like your firing place type too. So definitely get different results electric kiln when you're doing a gas kiln or a wood kiln or, yeah, soda kiln, salt kiln. There's all kinds of options. So there we go. So add a little texture. Instead, I'm going to let these sit for a while and maybe come back before I go to bed tonight, check them and flip them over. And this one especially, I'll flip it over on so it's, and then press down in the middle part on the out if it was flipped over. So for example, if this was it, I would come and I push really hard right here, right at that leather hard stage. So then it'll kind of maintain that flatness and shape. But oh yeah, you should be coming to. Oh, I guess you're not. I don't think you are. I shouldn't give you a hard time. To Denton. I think Jenny and Delaney are coming to Denton in September. Otherwise, I think for sure they're going to come to what is it called? Claycon West. So yes.
We'll still love you, or Stacy. Don't worry.
Yeah, they still love you more than me. I mean, just teasing you, Sister Stacy. You know I got a poke. So, all right. If anybody has any other questions, we'll be back again next week. Hopefully Wednesday, and we'll see how what we have in store for you Wednesday. And there could be. It's a good chance that there could be a second sale next week. Yeah, so we'll see. So, anyway, nice seeing y'all. Have a good weekend.